Oh, wow, it really works. Is AR worth it right now for you? No, it is not. Thank you for watching and goodbye. With this headset, I try to answer the question if augmented reality headsets are worth it right now. And I will even go back 2 years ago where I made an experiment already with the Pico 4.
So I wanted to experience a VR headset in see-through mode for one entire day.
I have the feeling I'm actually at home.
The question is simple. What will happen with our mind if we look at the world through a screen for one day?
I'm getting headaches now. I wouldn't feel the cold. I would say this is not real.
How much better can this Pico 4 Ultra be? And do you really need that? It's a long debate if we need AR headsets at all. And what does the word need actually mean? Hi guys, I'm Mark, the German architect that makes videos, photos and talks about how to improve our lives. So what we also want to know is if augmented reality headsets can improve your life. And the answer is very simple, yes, of course they could, but only if we can experience a barrier-free real-world replication. Or really the real world. So to make sure that this technology actually improves our life, we need to understand what it is. So this technology overlays the digital information such as images, sounds or other data onto the real world in real time. Unlike virtual reality, for example, which creates a complete immersive virtual environment, and AR enhances the real world experience by adding interactive computer-generated elements to it. For AR, it's always best if there's just a projection used and not a screen that projects the real world. There are many ways to do that, and other headsets are specifically designed to do that. For example, they can't be used for VR, but that's all another topic. So companies try now to sell VR headsets that can actually do both, but can't do AR very well. It becomes just a feature of a VR headset. It's like putting a barrier what you can only with a lot of work and effort look through.
That's a VR headset. The outside world is recorded from these two cameras. They have slightly different angles for the 3D effect. And when you put the headset on, you look through the two lenses. If you would take the front cover off, there are two screens for the left and the right eye. Your left and right eye gonna see two slightly different angles, and your brain does the rest. Voila, there's your 3D image.
Why would someone put in so much effort to put this screen in front of the real world and projecting it just to place some screen in front of you? Believe me, it just feels like VR with a real surrounding.
I have the feeling I'm actually at home, listening to the surround sound, seeing everything in 3D, already like a finished shot. Basically, you're just re-watching some footage from a finished clip.
It doesn't matter how high the screen resolution is. And it takes away the immersion or the idea to place digital objects in real space, because it is all just digital. It just doesn't feel how it is supposed to feel.
It's almost like if you can't really decide, is this now real? Are you here or are you not here? That's a very interesting question that we also wanted to answer with this experiment. What is my personal feeling after you spend hours and hours in a headset like this, and even you see the real world? How augmented can you become when the line between reality and the unreal world fades more and more away?
But one of the biggest problems is the lack of use. There are no applications that really take advantage of what AR should be used for. And using AR headsets with a digital screen outside is therefore not only useless, but also completely unsafe. Just check out this part of my video 2 years ago.
I think I'm standing right in the middle of the crossroad.
Just when I thought
I'm lost tracking.
I was almost reaching the final destination, the screen went completely black. I was confused and looked around me in every direction, but nothing that could explain what was happening to me. This must have been it. The transition. The transition between reality and the other dimension. I left reality.
Just imagine this would happen when you ride on the street, or your battery dies while you riding a bicycle.
No VR headset.
It's not only dangerous, but also irresponsible. This wouldn't happen if there was only a heads-up display or a plastic screen that you could look through. Basically, the real world and the digital world combine, but you're gonna be basically trapped with only a screen in front. But wait. There was this new headset I showed, the second version or improved version. And what I'm always interested about is how technology has evolved and improved. So how much did it improve over 2 years' time? And does it really replicate the real world now? So it feels like a pure AR experience? Or is it still just a VR headset that tries to be an AR headset? Well, here's the side-by-side.
Just to show, now I just walked through the boundary. And this happened when I was testing the VR set like 2 years ago. There's our Xiao Gogu. Come here. Yeah, this one. Of course, this feels much more clear. You can actually really see all the details. It's much more precise, and the feeling is like much more 3D and not that kind of artificial. I mean, like you still have this kind of artificial feel. Kleiner Gogu tree, huh? Hey.
If you put those side by side, you don't really notice huge difference. As you saw in the experiment, I basically walked around all Shanghai and did daily life things without having a big of an issue, like more or less somehow.
No! The screen went completely black right on the escalator. If this problem would continue to happen, my challenge would be over.
Even though this is so-called see-through mode was not really designed for this purpose, but it kind of worked. But no matter if it really improved a lot or not, the only really useful use case would be to mimic a screen, or several for that matter, at your home. So you might ask, Mark, is this now finally the improvement for our life? Well, let me say it like this. It is entertaining at best. And I say this about all VR headsets designed like this, Quest 3, Vision Pro, Pico 4, Ultra. To make you understand what I mean, listen to this. Instead of using a perfectly sharp screen that you can look and focus on for hours and hours, and that is physically and static, and that you can look away from whenever you want, and you want to rest your eyes, or your iPad or laptop that you can physically take wherever you want, you have to look onto a screen on another screen the entire time. And wait, that's not all. You still have this sweat-absorbing, huge and heavy thing. And believe me, it is really heavy, or it gets really heavy, sitting on your head, and it gets hotter and hotter over time, causing nausea and headaches and after a 1 or 2 hour session. So the very simple question now is, why would you do that? It is a VR headset that pretends to be an AR headset, and that's all I am saying. The real world functions are just not there yet. And if you watch this video that was released 14 years ago, where this guy imagined what the AR could mean to our daily life, well, it certainly came already pretty close, but just not close enough.
Milk from the refrigerator. Carefully pour boiling water into the mug.
But I think most of these headsets are also not really 100% meant for use case I tried to show in this experiment. But really I just want to give you a help to move around home while not having to put down the headset, which they should actually encourage you to do, but if they can earn some extra bucks with it, why not? And I believe those VR headsets are anyway at their best when you use them within virtual environment. It's the more fun and calming experience anyway. And when you go from A to B, you can just use the built-in see-through mode. To summarize everything we have learned today, for the consumer market, the AR world is very limited and not really useful for the daily life or even dangerous. And the VR headsets with AR features are not really worth the price tag. So if you just want to have a feel or look into the future and what it is going to be like, you could also just simply get the Pico 4, the one without the Ultra. It is also much cheaper. But my personal recommendation would be the Quest 2. These VR headsets have the best user experience overall, and the Quest 3 is better but more expensive, and you don't need the AR element. And if this is not available in your country or hard to get, just buy the Pico 4 for my friends in China, for example. So this is all from me today. If you like this video, give it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, where I help you to improve your life, then subscribe to the channel and let me know what you would want to see more in the future. Have an awesome day and see you next time, lovely people. Mwah. All right, son. Ka. Fu.